Hi everybody, this is Eric Johnson. Obviously, as you can tell from my change of clothing, we're not on the same day doing this series. We're a day or two from there. What happened was that I was about to start editing the second video using the interview, the actual interview that Calazar and K-Pro did with Forrest Fenn and Doug Preston. And I was simply going to literally show the video and then comment on the side about certain things, only a couple of small things. And I let them know I was going to do this, and they responded by saying that, you know, they would not allow it because of copyright infringement. I really don't have a problem with that. I mean, quite frankly, they've taken the time to do the production and get Fenn to sit down, etc. The phenomena, I've never really gotten a handle on how big the phenomena is. When I've been out on looking for the treasure, I've commented on to people about Forrest Fenn, and nobody has a clue what I'm talking about. It is just so amazing. We all get so caught up in this because we're searching for the treasure, or we're interested in searching for the treasure. The vast amount of people out there that I've run into, they have no idea what I'm talking about. I mean, I've sat there and explained it to people, and then they kind of go, like they don't even really take it seriously. And that's kind of understandable. It's kind of, you know, looking for treasure. On the other hand, I've heard some figures about Forrest Fenn and the money he's made with his businesses, and he's, you know, the man has obviously made some money. So I understand completely, though, that when they produce a video that Calazars and K-Pro would prefer to just keep it to themselves, and I understand that. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to transcribe the very small parts of the interview that I kind of hit me when I saw it, and I realized he was saying something very important about the treasure. So for starters, K-Pro says, talking about when someone does find the treasure, it is theirs. The chest and the contents are theirs, correct? They will own that treasure. Fenn says, I said in my poem, I give you title to the gold. And if you watch the interview, that's exactly how he says it, pretty much like, I give you title to the gold. He's making a point of saying, I give you title to, remember what we just watched as to what's in that treasure chest. A lot of stuff that's not gold. We have the Mayan faces, we have the fetish necklaces, we have this, we have that. Is the gold the nuggets in the gold dust? Or is the gold, does that cover the golden frogs and, say, a golden necklace? Is that all gold, I guess, technically? Hopefully this doesn't turn into lawyers sitting down with accountants and really haggling about this stuff. I don't think it will, but I must say, after kind of watching this interview, I got much more of a... First of all, I'd like to say, let me just interject. I get the feeling Fenn thinks someone's going to find the treasure soon. And I know people contact Fenn all the time behind the scenes. I never have. But I know Fenn talks to people through email and private messaging, etc. And I think the only time I ever contacted him, I never got a response, was years ago when I first started, and that was when someone had died looking for the treasure, and I just wrote him an email and said, please, Mr. Fenn, don't stop the chase. Because my attitude has always been, we shouldn't stop the chase. And if someone dies, they're out there doing what they want to do. And that's just part of the, you know, not to sound callous or macho about it, but I mean, I'm aware of the fact that there's potentially danger out there searching for the chest, but I take that into account when I go out and search for the chest. So, keeping in mind that Fenn does have people that he talks with and stuff, maybe he thinks someone is close to finding the treasure. I just think this interview, it was funny to me that he suddenly let us know stuff where he's talking about when the treasure is found. And I don't think we've really been there previously. We've been more like how to find the treasure, where's the treasure. Now we've suddenly shifted to, well, when the treasure is found, what are we going to be dealing with? Well, I give you title to the gold tells me that he's letting us know, let the finder know, it's not going to be maybe as simple as you think. For him to say, yeah, they're going to own it as far as in the sense that I've said, I give you title to the gold. K-Pro says, okay. Fenn says, but there are a lot of subchapter S's in the rule too. I didn't catch that rule part until I actually transcribed it this morning, knowing that I wasn't going to use the actual video. I'd already watched the video a few times, and suddenly I realized that when I had to write it down, he said, but there are a lot of subchapter S's in the rule too, but I don't want to go there. Subchapter S's in the rule. We have rules now being applied to this. I haven't thought much. I've thought about finding the treasure chest. I've thought about taking it home like he said. I've thought about sequestering it for 30 days like he said. Maybe put it in a safe deposit box. Maybe literally put it under my bed. Who knows? But suddenly he's letting whoever finds it know there are rules. This thing is controlled. It's not just Huckleberry Finn finds a treasure chest and takes it home. There's going to be a lot more to it. You're going to need a lawyer, which I always knew that, and I have a lawyer picked out. But you're going to, now I realize, and I kind of always knew this too, but you're really going to need an accountant too. This is not going to be a slam dunk as far as the way you or I handle it, whoever finds it. It's going to be a lot more complicated than that. Fenn has always suggested that was the case. But now, for some reason, like I said, he seems to be getting closer to the realization maybe the chest is going to be found. And letting searchers know that whoever finds it, it's going to be a little bit more to it. So, I had to look up subchapter S's. What is a subchapter S corporation? That's what came up when I Googled it. Subchapter S corporations. A subchapter S corporation, also known as an S-corp, is a specific type of corporation. The other type is a subchapter C corporation. In a nutshell, an S corporation provides all the advantages of a corporate business structure while allowing the profits and losses to pass through to the shareholder just as an LLC or partnership. I know this is a little wonky, just bear with me please. A corporation is a form of a business that is owned by its shareholders and which assumes liability for the actions and finances of the business. The shareholders cannot be held responsible. Being able to shift liability away from the owner and onto the business itself is a major advantage. Corporations can be established by an individual or companies. Some of the restrictions of an S-corp include no more than 100 shareholders. Only U.S. citizens can be shareholders. So right there off the top, what I'm being told is that an individual can set up, we'll say the treasure, as an S corporation, and you or me, or possibly this relates to Forrest Fenn himself having an S corporation, cannot be held personally liable because it'll have this shell of a corporation that'll be liable for taxes and I guess lawsuits. So what is he saying? He's introducing the concept that you, the finder, I'm not quite sure He didn't want to talk anymore about it, but there will be a S subchapter, there will be an S corporation to, you can tell I'm not that very good with it. I don't know economics that well, I don't know accounting very well. The pros of having an S corporation. For many years, the subchapter S corporation was the preferred business structure for small business owners because they provide the liability protection of a corporation with the pass-through taxation of LLCs and partnerships. Other advantages include the existence of the company does not expire as an LLC can. One person is able to form a subchapter S corporation. Ownership interests are transferable. Makes me wonder if Fenn isn't saying this thing is already set up and he can transfer it to the finder of the chest. Only the wages of an employee are subject to the 15.3 self-employment tax. Other benefits and bonuses are excluded. Here are the cons. The need to create and file the same paperwork as a Subchapter C corporation, such as articles of incorporation, keeping corporate minutes, scheduling board of director, blah, blah, blah. We're not talking about Subchapter C. Paperwork, tax filings include all of the following. Income tax return for S corporation, K1 shareholder share of income form, blah, blah, blah. It goes on to talk about different tax forms. Now, keeping in mind, I'm not an accountant, and I'm really just talking off the top of my head, not knowing much at all about taxation and accounting. I mean, I do my own every year, but that's not a big deal. This takes me back to this concept of I give you title to the gold. I give you title to, say he has this S corporation, and he transfers ownership of it to you. He gives you title to the gold. See, I'm confusing myself. He gives you title to the gold. So you have a legal basis to have the gold right off. But what about all these other things? Are these other things, these cultural icons, this jewelry, these Mayan frogs, these different things that are, the fetishes, the sinew fetishes of the American Indians, all these different things, are these going to be simply taxed differently? Are you going to own them outright if you don't have title to them? Just stuff to, I'm just throwing out, what I can figure out, which isn't much, about this whole revelation that came when Forrest Fenn suddenly brought up in this interview subchapter S's and emphasizing, I give you title to the gold, when we know full well much of that treasure chest, including all the gems, of which there are a lot, are not gold. What does it mean? Something to think about. And quite frankly, something I didn't want to think about. I wanted to just have this very simplistic view that I was going to find the treasure chest, take it home. Fenn would say, I give you title to the chest, and good luck with the IRS. And maybe, you'd have to get an accountant and pick whatever tax way of handling the chest would be the best. And now suddenly I'm confronted with the concept that no, I legally have title to the gold, but I don't have title to all of it at the moment I find it, even though he has said in numerous interviews whoever finds the chest will own the chest. He has said that in numerous interviews. All these things are, as far as I understand, legal. They're legal. They're legally binding, right? I mean, he has said in many interviews, yes, whoever finds the chest will own the. But see, here we go again. If you say, well, Mr. Fenn in these interviews, if someone finds a chest, well, they own the chest, and Forrest Fenn sits there and just kind of, well, yes, I own the chest. And then you go, well, maybe he's just literally talking about the bronze chest, but not some of the stuff in it other than the gold. You know what I mean? I don't know, folks. I just thought it was worth bringing up because we are, in fact, talking about the treasure itself, and this was something new that came up. Now, part 4 coming up.